A trap, to be truly effective, must not look like a trap. It must look like an opportunity. The Subsidiary Alliance system was not a simple act of theft. It was a machine, a self-perpetuating mechanism of 6 interlocking steps, each one feeding into the next with the cold precision of clockwork. And once an Indian ruler stepped inside, the gears turned, and they never stopped. It began with a threat, not always a real one, but one the company was remarkably skilled at, either magnifying or quietly engineering. A neighboring rival grows restless. A regional conflict flares, and suddenly a frightened ruler finds himself looking for protection. The company, ever helpful, was always standing nearby. Step 2. The treaty. A garrison of company troops would be stationed on the ruler's own soil. Soldiers who wore a foreign uniform. They answered to a foreign command, and whose presence announced, to anyone paying attention, that sovereignty here was already compromised. Step 3 was where the machine revealed its true purpose. The garrison cost was set, deliberately, calculatedly, at rates that consumed between 50 and 80% of a state's total annual revenue. This was not an administrative miscalculation. It was a fiscal death sentence, time to be carried out slowly. And so came step 4. To meet the payments, the ruler had no choice but to gut everything that made his state function. His own army, his administration, the patronage networks that held his society together. He stripped himself bare year after year, just to keep the British soldiers fed and quartered on his own land. Then came a drought, or a famine, or simply the accumulated weight of years of drainage. A payment was missed. Step 5, inevitable default. And it was inevitable because the system had been designed from the very beginning to produce it. And finally, step 6. The company would arrive, not as a conqueror but as a creditor, and accept, in lieu of unpaid dues, the most valuable land available. Prime agricultural territory, revenue-generating provinces, strategic corridors, and with less revenue now, the next default came faster. The gears turned again. The machine fed itself. Every crisis transferred political authority rather than merely adjusting accounts. This was not a series of unfortunate financial mishaps. It was architecture. The system was designed, from its very foundations, to produce the dependency it claimed to resolve. The trap was the protection, and then the protection was always the trap. The British never forgot their embarrassment at the hands of Aurangzeb after the First Anglo-Mughal War. This was their way of embarrassing Indians, to make them systematically grovel.